Good morning, Monster Jam fans. This is Monster Jam in Philadelphia. This is from last weekend out in Lincoln Financial Field. We have a stacked lineup of a lot of great drivers ready to fly into the city of brotherly love in just a few moments. We have a great lineup today. This is the Green Tour. They are wrapping it up today. This is the final stop, and Adam Anderson and Neil Elliott are battling for the points championship. But it's not Adam Anderson who's battling for the championship today. It's his brother, Ryan Anderson, the driver of Son of a Digger, filling in, driving Gravedigger for the first time in competition in his career. He is looking to take home the crown for his brother today and knock down the beautiful Maximum Destruction from its perch. This is a really spectacular tour. They are so close. Gravedigger is just up by a few points, and if Ryan can take this tour just the way that he's been taking his own, he is going to walk away with a huge win for Team Gravedigger. Other drivers that are filling in, well, really one other driver that's filling in. Cynthia Gauthier is filling in for Candice Jolly, who's down in Africa. She's driving the regular Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And then we also have two trucks that are on this tour right now, while drivers Kristen Hope is driving Wolf's Head, and then we have Roy Pridgeon out there in the beautiful Ice Cream Man, and Colt Stevens will be the pilot of Brodozer today. So, are you ready to see this great lineup of trucks come flying onto the track? I know I am. This is Monster Jam. Let's get going. So it was a crazy intros, but now here we are in round one of racing. In the right lane, you have Kelvin Raymer in Time Flies sticking on the ice. El Toro Loco, piloted by Scott Buteau. Let's go racing here in Philadelphia. And Scott Buteau messes up in the turn. There's no turning jump. Kelvin Raymer with the lead going to the final turn. But Scott Buteau makes up a lot of ground, but it's going to be Time Flies walking away with the victory. What a crazy race. The next race here we have Paul Strong and Zombie taking Ryan Disharoon in Saigon Shaker. Paul Strong looks dead even right now with Saigon. But Ryan Disharoon's going to pull away with the win here in the first round race. A very close finish, but Ryan Disharoon continues to be smooth in racing this year. Next up, we have Neil Elliott in your right lane on the screen, and on the left side of your screen, you have Colt Stevens in Brodozer. Neil Elliott is in an incredibly tense night right now. He needs as many points as possible, and Colt Stevens makes a mistake. That's a huge break for Neil Elliott. Neil Elliott is going to power to the finish line as he is continuing his reign on this tour. This is such an important day for these drivers. In the right lane, Scott Hartsock in Gunslinger takes on Cynthia Gauthier filling in the left lane in the Dalmatian. Monster Jam in Philadelphia, always so exciting, and we are already getting a lot of excitement today. And Cynthia Gauthier with a good race right now. She has a little lead going to the final turn. And Cynthia Gauthier, filling in for Candice, is going to take that truck to the second round. Now we have a great race in the right lane, Wolfshead and Kristen Hope, and in the left lane, Ryan Anderson's first ever race in Son of a Digger. I meant in Gravedigger. He always drives Son of a Digger. His first race in Gravedigger. Here we go. Kristen Hope messes up in the turn. And oh my, Ryan Anderson in Gravedigger is, as always, flawless. He takes these Philly fans to a fun ride as he is moving on to the next round. Now in the right lane, Stephen Thompson and Earthshaker taking on Rosalie Raymer and Wildflower. And Rosalie with a slow start. And Stephen Thompson, who's been looking fast in Earthshaker all year in this racing competition, continues to put through some great racing passes as he has won here today. He's moving on to the second round of racing. Now we're in the second round already. Time flies. Is in the right lane of the guy who got the bye run, Bryce Kenny, and Mohawk Warrior will sit in the left lane. Kelvin Raymer taking on Bryce Kenny. Here we go. Second round racing now. Oh, and Bryce Kenny makes a big mistake, and Kelvin Raymer's got an edge. Oh my, it's a close finish, but Kelvin Raymer and Time Flies wins. And Bryce Kenny has a rough finish to that race. Kelvin Raymer, he is moving on to the semifinals. Next up here we have Neil Elliott and Max D taking on a very difficult opponent, Ryan Disharoon in Saigon Shaker. Neil Elliott with a mistake, but so did Ryan Disharoon. Neil Elliott has a lead. Oh, but Neil Elliott makes a mistake, so did Ryan! And Neil Elliott pulls ahead! What a finish to that race! Oh my! Look at this! That's a crazy finish! So Neil Elliott's hopes remain alive. But now Paul Strong takes on Cynthia Gauthier. Cynthia in the left lane, Paul on the right. And Cynthia messes up in the turn, hits the turning tire. That's going to be a penalty, but it doesn't matter. She almost comes together with Zombie. What a crazy night of racing already as Paul Strong's moving on to the semifinals. Cynthia got the penalty anyway. Now we have Ryan Anderson and Gravedigger taking on Stephen Thompson and Earthshaker. This is going to be a good race. Ryan Anderson needs to go into the next round. And Ryan Anderson is flooring it, but so is Stephen Thompson. And Ryan Anderson is all on his game right now. He has put all the chips in. He's moving on to the semifinals. We're in the semifinal round in the right lane. It's Kelvin Raymer taking on Neil Elliott in the left. Neil Elliott wants this race badly. He needs these points. But Kelvin Raymer's having the racing night of his life, but Raymer, with a bad turn, gives Neil Elliott the chance to push himself into the final round. Now we have Ryan Anderson and Gravedigger taking on Paul Strong and Fire Zombie. This is going to be a spectacular race as well. But Ryan Anderson and Gravedigger with a huge lead. And we're going to have a battle for the ages. Ryan Anderson going to the final round in Gravedigger. What a race. Now it is time for the championship race. We are here in the final round of racing. This is going to be a really heavy battle. In the right lane, it's your current points leader. The truck is, at least. It's Adam Anderson's Gravedigger taking on Neil Elliott in the left lane in Max D. Whoever wins this race is going to have a big advantage in the point standings. Neil Elliott not down by a lot. They are dead even. Oh my, what a race! But it's Ryan Anderson and Gravedigger winning in Philadelphia. Yes! Ryan Anderson has won his first ever competition in Gravedigger. What a night of racing. And he has pushed himself a little bit further ahead of Neil Elliott. And he's going to celebrate. What a way to win it. That was spectacular. But now we're going to move on to the always exciting two-wheel competition out here. Ryan Anderson just won himself his overall third racing competition of the year. But now we're in the two-wheel competition here. Scott Buteau will kick us off in the Ice El Toro Loco. Lining up for the side of that jump. Oh, wow, a great sky wheelie. Beautiful. Now, I know there was no intro before the video today. There will be one next weekend. I know I said last weekend that there will be one this weekend, I promised. But I didn't have school this week, so I was just kind of relaxing. But next week there will be one, I promise. Lining up on the backside of the racing lane, Scott Buteau and Ice El Toro Loco going for a moonwalk. And it's not a good attempt. I'm going to have to give that overall a 6. It's a 4.463. Thank you. Glad they're showing the scores. Now, Brodos ridden by Colt Stevens is going to make his first hit as a bicycle. And it's a lot better than it looks from the start, but it's not going to be the best bicycle he could put out there. Colt Stevens this year has not won a two-wheel competition. Up on the nose and a beautiful moonwalk for Colt. What a beautiful hit. I'm going to have to give that a 7.75. And it's a 7.565. It wasn't that off. And now Scott Hartsock in Gunslinger starts off his run going for a slap wheelie. Not a great first hit for Gunslinger. So he's currently searching for that second hit, lining up for his sky wheelie. He's cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Go for a sky wheelie, not a great one. I'm going to have to give that a 3. Oh boy, it's a 2.832. Next up is Kristen Hope in Wolf's Head. And for a sky wheelie here, not the best of first hits for Kristen Hope. Lining up for a slap wheelie, not a good one at all. I'm going to have to give that a 2.5 to 3.086. A little bit generous. Next up we have Rosalie Raymer and Wildflower. And not a good first hit for Rosalie. Lining up for a bicycle, not a good hit. I'm going to have to give that a 1.75. Not a great run. But that'll bring up Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Bryce's Mohawk Warriors right here. Monster Jam Picks, Lego Boy, and Monster Jam Collector all out at the show. And it's a beautiful sky wheelie for Bryce. A nice first hit over there for Brycey Poo.
You're welcome.
Lining up for a second here. Looks like he may be aiming for a moonwalk. Colt Stevens is still your leader. We haven't seen a really good move since Colt. So a lot riding on this hit. Up on the nose, and he's going to back it up. Oh, yeah! That was a great one. I'm going to have to give that an 8. No, I'm going to give that an 8.5. It's an 8.564. All right. Next up is Ryan Disharoon in Saigon Shaker. He's got a high score to beat. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's going to put him on his lid. I'm going to have to give that a 5 for Ryan Disharoon. He tried, but it just did not come together. It's a 6.676. I gave him a little bit of a lower score. But next up, Cynthia Gauthier in the Matsumoto Dalmatian starts off her run. I would love to see her get a backflip here in Candace's puppy. Oh, wow! That was the best Sky Wheelie of the year. Oh, my. Holy cow. Cynthia has won a two-wheel competition. She actually won her first just a few weeks ago. And oh, boy, she's going on a wild ride. Oh, my goodness. That was spectacular! I gotta give that an 8.75! It's a 9.099! Your new leader, Cynthia, going out in style! And next up, Earthshaker, driven by Steven Thompson, coming out here to shake it loose. He is bicycling, almost went into a moonwalk a little bit, and I think that'll count for all one hit. Lining up for a second hit here, he's got a high score to beat. It's not likely to be beaten, let's be honest here. Oh my, that Sky Wheelie jump's giving a lot of people some verticality. I was going to give that a 7. So that's a good score. Now Kelvin Raymer in Time Flies comes out with this beautiful back white blue wheel and this beautiful yellow truck. And a beautiful slap wheelie to go with it. A great first hit for Kelvin. One of the most upbeat truck theme songs in the sport. Mounting up for a second hit. And a huge Sky Wheelie for Kelvin. A beautiful one. I'll have to give that a 7. For Kelvin, it's a 6.950, good score. Next up, Paul Strong in Zombie. Oh! Oh, that worked out really well! Oh, his engine is dead. If that's the end of the run, I'm gonna have to give that a 6.5 for really creativity. Oh, he's back. So the engine just had a false pop there. It goes lining up for a second hit after a great first hit. Oh, and a rough second hit's going to bring his score down a little bit. I got to give that a 6. Yeah, it's a 5.5, and being shut off didn't really help. But now Neil Elliott and Max D in the most important two-wheel competition of the year. He has won 10 two-wheel competitions coming into the day. He is your overall two-wheel champion this whole year. And he's going off in style with a great one. A solid moonwalk there. The question is, will he be able to beat Cynthia's score? Coming into the day right now, Adam Anderson, Camden Murphy, and Neil Elliott right now at this point in the competition are all tied for the most competition wins of the year. Oh, Neil is walking it! Oh! Yes! That's going to be a 9.5 for me. What a great move out of Neil Elliott. It's a 9.149. Your new leader is Neil Elliott and Max D. But Ryan Anderson can do something about it. Ryan Anderson's won one two-wheel competition this year. And here he goes up on two wheels, going for the moonwalk! Oh yeah! That was even better than what Neil did, but it seems like the engine had a misfire. The question is, will he refire? Yes, he will. Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger out here in Philadelphia gets the door to shut, and he has a really good first hit to play off of. Oh boy, what does Ryan have in store now? He's got one more hit. Let's see what he's got. Oh, it's not a good one. That's gonna cost him. That's gonna cost him big time. I'd have to give that an 8.25. It's not gonna be enough. So Neil Elliott right now grabs 2 extra points over the Gravedigger machine. It's gonna come down to freestyle. And we are now here in the freestyle competition. Ryan Disharoon in Saigon Shaker is starting us off. So Neil Elliott right now needs a huge freestyle competition. So Ryan Disharoon coming out first here in the freestyle competition. Hopefully can put down a good freestyle run. So Ryan didn't get to come out to freestyle in Syracuse. That is why he's out here so early here in Philly. He had a big backflip back in Philadelphia last year. So the drivers of Ryan Anderson, really Adam Anderson, and Neil Elliott are separated by 3 points right now in the standings. There is a 3-point difference. They were separated by 4 coming into the day. Ryan got 1 extra for Adam, made it 5. A really good run right now for Ryan Disharoon. What on earth? He's setting this truck up. They were separated by 5 then after the racing competition, but Neil made up 2. So it's now a 3-point competition right now. Ryan Disharoon right now putting on a great run. Going for the backflip, his last show of the year. Up and over, and that's not a good one. And he is going to end on his lid. It's a good backflip, but it ends up putting him on his roof. I'm going to have to give that a solid score of an 8.25. It's a great run. Didn't get to complete the backflip, but he certainly put on a really great show. He had a great run. And like I've said before, when these drivers come into their last show of the year, they tend to come out and put the truck on the line because they know that they have a few weeks to repair it before the World Finals. The question is he going to take the lead by a lot? Will the bar be set very high, or will it be a medium score? It's a 7.912. That's an understandable score there for Ryan Disharoon. Next up, we have Scott Hartsock in Slinger coming out here to freestyle in Philly. Scott Hartsock hitting the track here, cocked, locked, and ready to rock. He's got a high score that he has to beat right now. So Scott's pace a little bit lower than what Ryan Disharoon had. I'll be seeing Scott at MetLife Stadium a little bit more than a month away. gonna cross thread the mini flip ramp. So he's just kind of moseying along the track. But it's a good run for Scott Hartsock. It's nice to see him coming out here and really putting down good freestyles. Oh boy! Almost came on all onto his back. Time is running down for Scott Hartsock here in Gunslinger. Oh! Oh, I thought he was going for the backflip for a second. Yeah, he's right. He only has front wheel power, but he's still pushing it along. Oh no, that back right wheel isn't pulling. That's the problem. That's going to be it for Scott Hartsock. A good run, but all around should have taken the lead now. I'm going to have to give that a 6.5. It's a decent run, just not enough to take the lead. Scott Hartsock does not have a freestyle win this year. So it's a solid run for Scott Hartsock. It's a 5.178, a little bit of a low score for Scott Hartsock. But next up we have Cynthia Gauthier in Monster Mutt Dalmatian. This is because Candace ended up having problems at Syracuse. She's coming out pretty early. Question is, will she get to land the first ever backflip in Candace Jolly's machine? Candace Jolly's truck seems to have problems pretty quickly. Big air for Cynthia. So Philly's gotten a great show so far. Huge air.
What's she doing?
She gets pinned up, has to throw it in reverse. That'll affect her pacing. But she is having pretty good pacing. Big air though. Oh boy! The back left wheel comes off, going full send. Decent run. I'm gonna have to give that a 6 for Cynthia Gauthier. So she had some nice air, but I'm going to have to give that a 6. Just because she got cut down a little bit too soon. That was a launch. The score for Dalmatian, an 8.497.
Time flies.
What? Well, that's very disheartening. But next up, we have Kevin Rimmer at Time Flies coming out here to Philly cheesesteak it up. I don't know what I'm saying. Kevin loves to just keep the pace a little bit steady in his run. But he's known for every so often he'll just get something like out of nowhere that just shocks everyone. But not this year. Hasn't really had too many great moves. That was a very nice slap really for Kelvin.
God, there's pops.
So the truck seems to be having a few issues right now, throwing it into some cyclones. No freestyle wins for Kelvin this year. Again, the most upbeat song in Monster Jam.
Nice.
The other shot doesn't show it. Kelvin Raymer, oh my gosh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What was that? Oh my god, Kelvin! What was that? The other guy who was recording it, he starts pulling the camera away so you don't see any of the save. Oh my god! What the hell is that? That's the save of the year! Oh my god! What on earth did we just see? I'm giving that a 10. I don't care.
Keep going. Keep going. He is spoken.
Oh my god! He's gonna throw it in the donuts! He's not even done yet!
Yep, he's done.
Wow.
He's done.
Give it a 10. Oh my gosh. Save of the year. That was Kelvin Raymer's best move he's ever had. Oh my god. If that doesn't take the lead, there's something wrong with the fans. That's the save of the year. Oh my gosh. Score to beat an 8.497. Look at the save.
This has to take the lead.
The score is
Lead.
yes, it's a 9.109. It's a little underscored, but you know what? It got the recognition it deserved. But next up, Kristen Hope in Wolf's Head hitting the track. I don't know how you're supposed to follow up what Kelvin Raymer just did. I gave Kelvin a 10, and knowing that it scored a 9.1, I have to judge the rest of my scores based on that. So, very interesting. No, actually, I'd still have to give it what I think I would give it. So Kristen Hope out here driving this Wolf's Head truck here in Philly, her second ever stadium show in this machine. She already seems to be locked in.
Oh,
A nice little bouncy, I guess you could call it. And he's gonna throw it into a donut. I still can't get over what Kelvin Raymer just did. That's nuts. So the time is winding down. Kristen Hope, a decent run.
nice.
So a nice run for Kristen Hope. That's going to be the end of her run. I'm going to have to give that a 5.25. Yeah, I'm going to give that a 5.25. Good run out of Wolf's Head. She is rightly excited about that. Her second ever freestyle, pretty solid one. It's going to be a 5.608, but next up we have Paul Strong in Fire Zombie. Coming back from the undead. So here's Paul Strong. He's had some good freestyles this year. Came out in Syracuse, put on a good run. The body's starting to fall apart a little bit. This is his last freestyle of the regular season, so hopefully he can put on a good show. His rear steer is broken. His rear steer broke in Syracuse too, but he was able to fix it. But it's too bad that his rear steer issues are continuing to haunt him out here in Philadelphia.
That's on fire.
Struggling to get the truck righted, but he's still doing a good job. Again, not very easy to make the truck do well when it's broken. So he's doing a good job at that so far. And he's doing a good job at that this season. A nosedive, or as Tom Mentor called it, a nose pick. Cross-threading over every jump. He's doing a really good job at managing this broken truck. Veteran drivers are really good at this, and that's a true testament to how good of a driver he is. If you're a really good and skilled driver, you can handle these situations really well, and he is. He may not go bigger than everybody else, but he knows how to handle these situations really well. And for that, I gotta give him a lot of props. A great way to end his run. I'm gonna give that a really high score. I'm going high. I'm gonna give that an 8. Paul Strong put on a great showing with the broken truck. People aren't gonna appreciate that because they don't really realize that the truck's broken and that's so hard. But for a real fan like me, that's just a great run. I'm gonna have to give that an 8 for Paul Strong. It's not gonna be near an 8, but I think an 8's a fair score with a broken truck, and he put on a great show.
Target, Walmart, and more. So be sure to check that out. Or look for it at one of the Monster Jam merchandise stands before you go.
It's a 6.121. You knew it would be a little low. If I was to give that an 8, then it would have been a high score. But Neil Elliott's out here right now. He has a 3-point deficit to come up with right now. Neil Elliott needs to be 3 places higher than Ryan Anderson is in order to tie for the competition. And it needs to be 4 or more in order to win. So Neil Elliott's been on the top of his game today. The runner-up in the racing competition, and he won the two-wheel competition. But because Ryan has been doing so well, it's really stifled Neil Elliott's chances a decent amount, and it's stifled it enough to make it not very easy. So Neil has a difficult job to do out here today in Philadelphia. He really has to steal the fans' hearts. Especially knowing that Ryan Anderson's driving that machine, and Ryan Anderson is the best Monster Jam driver ever. You've got a real big monkey to get through. Locking up the brakes. Good old brake check. Able to straighten out your truck. He's going for the jammer. Oh no, he's stalling.
His tranny.
His transmission. Oh no. That would be the worst way to end the season if you're Neil Elliott.
You see the smoke coming from the truck. And sadly,
That is it. Oh boy. The transmission is going to cost him the season. A tough break for Neil. He gave it a good ride, but it's going to be Ryan Anderson all the way, because there's no way Ryan Anderson's not going to beat that. But the door's wide open for Ryan. Unless Ryan can't even come out, I'm going to have to give that a 4.5. Not a great score for Neil.
but he loves you Philly fans, so Philly, keep it going.
He's disappointed. The truck lets him down, which is too bad. He still had a great run. Puts him in 5th, so Ryan Anderson needs to come in at least 2nd place at this point in the competition, but we've got a lot of trucks left to come. And one of them is Stephen Thompson and Earthshaker. Stephen Thompson's been really flying under the radar this year as one of the top drivers in the sport. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him in a nice spot in the top 50 of the year in the summer. The top 50 drivers of the year will be coming out this summer as well. Don't worry, it will be here. I plan on doing it every year, but I've got a little bit of new plans for this year to handle it. So a solid run for Stephen Thompson so far, nothing over the top. If you're Neil Elliott, you've got to hope that everybody scores lower than you, because then if Neil, oh boy, big air for Earthshaker. If Neil Elliott's in 5th or 6th place at that point in the competition, he has a chance. Oh wait, no he doesn't. Never mind, I don't know what I'm saying. He doesn't have a chance. He needs Ryan Anderson to come in 8th place. Well, you know what? It's doable. It's possible, but it's very unlikely. Seems to be battling truck issues as well. Nice over the racing lane. Last time Stephen Thompson was in Philly was last year, and he had a really nice backflip. But that was in his Hurricane Force truck, so maybe he can get one in this Earthshaker machine. The truck seems to be pulling at something here. It's not working right. So like I mentioned last week, when these drivers come out for their last show of the year, they have the ability to just tear the truck up. And last week in Santa Clara, those guys just had a horrible freestyle competition. It was one of the worst shows of the year freestyle-wise. Stephen Thompson's coming out. Not a spectacular run. I'm going to have to give that a 7 for him. But a good run, good way to finish off his year.
For Stephen Thompson and Earthshaker, after tonight, he's going to go home and get ready to be a dad again. His next baby boy is on the way.
Oh, he is getting ready to have another kid. That's pretty cool. Good for Stephen Thompson. So I gave it a 7. Time flies, still the leader right now. Calvin Raymer sitting pretty up there in that hot seat. It's an 8.143. It's a pretty high score, I must say. But next up, Brodozer by Colt Stevens hitting the track. The diesel-powered beast coming out of the chute.
Yeah, Colt.
He had a really solid two-wheel competition, hoping to get the fans excited here for his freestyle. He's also vying for a top 5 driver of the week spot. It's very doable. Not a great racing competition, but a solid two-wheel is giving him a good position to get up there. The quietest monster is on the track, but it is quite a beast when he gives it some gas.
What are you doing, Paul? German time.
Huge air right off the bat for Colt Stevens. Nice air over the jammer. So Colts looks really good so far in this run, but nothing over the top. He's keeping his pace up. He's getting solid flow. The truck takes a hard nosedive. The bad thing for Colts is that he hasn't been able to be in the seat too much this year because he's been sharing with Diesel Dave and Heavy D. Heavy D got the qualification to the Monster Jam World Finals just this week, so Colt Stevens will not be driving in the World Finals. Oh, wow! That's the biggest error of the night for Colt Stevens. And a nice mini save. No one's done a mini flip yet today, nor has anybody landed a backflip. Oh boy, Colt's going up and over. He is pogoing, and he's on his lid. A tough break for Colt, but it was a decent run all around. I'm gonna have to give that I'm gonna give it an 8. He had some really nice air and a decent save in there. Just the truck flips itself over a little early. But really good air for Colt at that over the racing lane. Right there, you could see it on the big screen. He launched that truck. Colt Stevens has not won a freestyle this year. Let's see what the scores are. I gave it an 8. Score to beats a 9.109 from Kelvin Raymer. An 8.250, a solid score. Next up, Scott Buto in El Toro Loco Ice. He's coming out, not too many trucks from Maine. We still have Gravedigger, Mohawk Warrior. I believe it's just Gravedigger, Mohawk Warrior. After Scott. So Scott Buto's not at the best of years overall, but he has won 3 freestyle competitions throughout the year, which means that he's got a few bits of hardware to go off of, and he's sending it. Speaking of sending it, Scott Buto was also elected to be a part of the high jump competition in Orlando, Florida in Monster Jam World Finals 20. I didn't even really think about Scott for that competition, but looking at some of his air that he's gotten in these last 2 years, I'd say it's pretty well deserved. I mean, even that's just there, he got some pretty nice air. Nice. So Scott Buto could be the first driver to successfully land a backflip tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. Scott Buto hasn't really had any saves throughout the year, though. Oh, here he goes. The backflip's in his sights, the same side that Ryan Disher fluked on. Another awkward bounce. Oh, my!
Get out of there.
He ended in the dumpster. That'll be the end of his run. That was a really cool move. He landed the backflip too. I'm going to have to give that an 8.5. A good run for Scott. Sadly, it was cut down a little short. So Scott Buto finished off pretty nicely, I must say. A nice little backflip to dumpster combo.
Insane. Watch this.
Scott Buto has won 3 competitions all year, all in freestyle. Let's see if he can take the lead. I don't think he will. A 9.315? Are you kidding me? I mean, congratulations to Scott, but that's just... This is ridiculous. This fan judging is getting out of hand. Alright, listen to me. We need to take a minute here. Hold on. Just before we get to Rosalie, we need to have a talk. Alright? We need to have a talk. This is getting out of hand. This is really out of hand, and I need to make another video for it. You know what? I'm going to do a separate video for this because this is ridiculous. The fan judging is out of control. This is ridiculous. We have to make I'm going to make a separate video for it. I just needed to take a second right there because Scott Buteau, look, Scott just had a good run. He had a great run. You saw what I gave him. I gave him an 8.5. He got the backflip, landed in the dumpster, cool. But how do you give that a higher score than what Calvin Raymer did? Like, what? I don't understand. I love you, Scott. I love Scott. He's one of my favorite drivers. And don't get me wrong, it was a good run. But it's not his fault. It's the fans' fault. What do you, like, these people don't pay attention. Like, I'm sorry that I may be coming off really bad here, but, like, come on. This is ridiculous. This is the third straight week where we've had some really just ridiculous scoring. It started in Syracuse with Bryce Kenny beating Adam Anderson, who threw down the best run of the year. And then, last weekend, Bakugan Dragonoid came to Murphy, had an amazing run. He deserved to win. That was a case where he deserved to win. And he did, but he got a 9.75, and I don't understand that. It deserved maybe a 9.25, but the backflip rules all nowadays, and that's ridiculous. The backflip shouldn't rule everything. First of all, it's a lot easier to do a backflip than it is to do what Calvin Raymer did. The fact that anybody has the nerve to give that a higher score than Calvin Raymer just goes to show you that they're not paying attention. They're not watching the show. And if you're watching the show, listen to me. Look, I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, and I'm sorry if I'm coming off really bad, but this is out of control. The fan judging is out of control. We're getting to a point where Monster Jam needs to step in. They need to step in. Feld, you guys have to do something about this, because this is ruining the sport. If you're watching that competition and you see Scott Buteau do that and you think genuinely that he deserves to beat Calvin Raymer because he did a backflip, then you shouldn't be judging. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be judging. Because if you think that the backflip is the most important thing, you just have no business judging a Monster Jam competition. Just watch the show and enjoy it. I don't care if you boo when he gets a lower score, but don't judge the run, please. If you were there at that show and you gave that a score higher than Calvin Raymer did, and you think that it's still justified, then please, the next show you go to, do not judge. Save everybody the pain and the anger and the aggravation. Because this is ridiculous. I'm going to make a separate video for it, and you'll see it, and it's going to be, I'm going to have a lot of warnings before it, because I'm going to be saying a lot of bad things. Maybe not bad things, but I'm going to be triggering people if they watch and they love fan judging. Look, fan judging's a great idea. It's a spectacular idea. It really is. It's a great idea, but the execution right now is so disgustingly terrible at this point that you can't let this happen. Monster Jam has to do something about fan judging. They have to step in. They have to go out there and do something because this is getting so out of hand. With that being said, my nice 4-minute rant about fan judging, and that's not even close to enough, we're going to take it back to Rosalie Raymer. My goodness. Here's Rosalie. Not many trucks left. You've got Rosalie, then Ryan, and then Bryce. Bryce coming out last because, like I just said, he unfairly won in Syracuse, and he even agreed with me. I posted on Instagram, I said, "What? This is ridiculous." He responded and said, "I completely agree." So that's how you know that there's a problem. She's having some smoke coming out of her truck. And the engine misfires again. A lot of misfires for these Raymer trucks today. A lot of misfires for a lot of trucks today. keeps popping. You can't hear it in the thing, but every time you see flames come out of the exhaust, that's a misfire, and it's very, very loud. And Lincoln Financial Field's a very loud stadium. It is continuously popping right now. This is just dangerous to the ears. This truck is just dead. Also, I missed last week in Santa Clara. Jimmy Cretin last week did a backflip. See the black side of the backflip ramp right there? Jimmy Cretin did a backflip off of that. I have to do a reaction to that because I saw it and it was amazing. Well, I'll just show my dad because my dad's gonna want to see that. But it was nuts. But Rosalie Raymer here in Wildflower, just a lot of truck issues getting in her way today. It's gonna cost her. I'm gonna have to give it a 5.
To be here with you Philly fans this weekend, so keep it going. Come on, Sir James, buddy, superstar.
Too bad, truck problems have to cut her run a little bit short.
Coming in right now for Rosalie Raymer and Wildflower, we take the total all of them and then divide them by the number of scores per min, and that's how we get the average for each one of these scores. It is a 6.1.
It's a 6.1. Next up, Ryan Anderson, his first ever Monster Jam freestyle in Gravedigger. This is going to be a huge run.
Woohoo! Come on, Ryan.
Ryan coming out, all he has to do is come within 3 of Neil Elliott in order to win this tour. If he beats Neil Elliott's freestyle score right now, which is not very hard, he will be the tour leader. And no, tour winner! Alright, Ryan's off to a great start with some big air. Oh boy!
Careful, Ryan.
Huge air, oh boy! Ryan is ready to go! Ryan Anderson's ready to tear his father's truck to the ground. He truly is his father's son. And now we're getting to see it displayed out here in Gravedigger. Oh boy.
Ryan. Okay. Keep going.
All eyes on Ryan Anderson right now here in Philly. He's already got to take the lead from Neil, so I think it's done already. But you know that he's not stopping. Here he goes, going for the backflip. Nobody's had a clean backflip so far. Oh, what is he doing? Went for a little bicycle. Oh, he's going on a bicycle adventure! Oh, yeah! Oh, my! Ryan! Oh, my gosh! What was that? I can't see him anymore. Oh, boy, he is going on his lid. Oh, boy, oh, the engine explodes. You can count that one as a good run. I think that was better than Scott Bueto's run, so I'm gonna give that a 9 point. If I was there, I would have given that a 9.5, but that deserves to be the lead based on what Scott Bueto did. Ryan Anderson out of the truck, went on a bicycle adventure, almost did a front flip. An amazing run for the kid. He is truly a legend. Score to beat unfairly is El Toro Loco Ice. This deserves to be the new leader. It's a 9.488. That, my friends, is your deserved leader. And guess what? He did it to a backflip. Wow, they're learning already. Oh, wow. but it is Gravedigger, and there's like discrimination from everyone in Gravedigger, but I don't know, whatever. Next up, the last driver out here is Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Oh, you know what that means? Ryan Anderson just clinched the tour for Adam Anderson. He is now your tour winner and officially your event champion. Also, CRD, I'm sorry, I was off this week from school, so I did not get to talk to you. I will this week if you remind me. Big air for Bryce, but gonna be very hard to beat what Ryan did.
Oh, no.
He's backing up for the jammer. Nobody's hit it yet today. That's right, jammer time. Somebody's a fan of me. Oh boy, Bryce. And Bryce is on his 4 BKT tires, but he's been shut off. The question is, will he refire?
Come on, Bryce.
That is it. The run is over. I'm gonna have to give that a 7. So you know what that means? Ryan Anderson, with a spectacularly unconventional run, is gonna be your freestyle winner, and I think he deserves it.
Tonight, your final chance to pick our winner in our freestyle competition. Bryce Kenny, the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior team, winning the freestyle competition 2 weeks ago in Syracuse. Was hoping to come
The question is, will the 3 monster tiers just give them 10s? If you guys did that, then you're also a part of the problem.
To see where your scores fall at judgeszone.com. So keep your eyes locked to the video board, Philly. Here we go.
So the score to beat at 9.488 by Ryan Anderson and Gravedigger.
The score.
It's not going to be even close. And Gravedigger is your winner. A well-deserved win for Ryan Anderson. And Ryan Anderson and Gravedigger. He said Ryan Anderson and son of a digger. He's so used to saying it too. Ha! Welcome to my boat, Ryan. I'm so used to saying it, so is he. But what a great win for Ryan Anderson. We'll hear what he has to say.
But when the motor starts going down, I had to insert other things. But Philadelphia, who had a good time in Monster Jam tonight?
Woo!
You won freestyle welcome to get the overall Red Championship. You will head to the video board right now as you got 14 points to your total. Was it enough, Philadelphia?
Yes, it was.
There it is. With a win in racing, 3rd place in the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge, and 1st place in freestyle, your irrelevant champion is Ryan Anderson, Gravedigger.
He wins the tour.
So it's a very, very exciting finish to the tour for the Gravedigger team. Adam Anderson gets the trophy handed to him by who other than his brother. His brother goes out there, destroys the competition in Philly. An amazing run. A lot of drivers had motor problems, don't really know why, but that's going to be it as you see the upcoming commentary list here. I've officially changed the schedule because the schedule dates were really wrong, and I don't know why, but they're right now. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow, the weekly wrap-up, well, and at the little rant video that you probably saw earlier in the day. I'll see you next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.